The history of ancient Egypt, pharaohs, pyramids, and mysteries presented by History Facts and Mysteries. Today, we're exploring one of the most fascinating and enduring civilizations of the ancient world, ancient Egypt. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to History Facts and Mysteries, and hit the bell icon to ensure you don't miss out on more historical explorations. The origins of ancient Egypt. From prehistory to unification, the story of ancient Egypt begins over 5,000 years ago, during the prehistoric period. Long before the construction of the pyramids and the reign of the famous pharaohs, the Egyptians lived in small agricultural communities along the banks of the Nile River. The river was Egypt's lifeblood, providing fertile soil for crops and a means of transportation that allowed for trade and cultural exchange. The first significant milestone in Egypt's history was the unification of Upper and Lower Egypt around 3100 BCE. This momentous event, often credited to the legendary King Narmer, also known as Menes, marked the beginning of Egypt's dynastic period. Narmer's conquest of Lower Egypt and subsequent unification of the country laid the foundation for the powerful pharaonic dynasty that would rule Egypt for centuries. The Old Kingdom. Age of the Pyramids. The Old Kingdom, 2686–2181 BCE, is often referred to as the Age of the Pyramids, a period of great prosperity and monumental construction. This era saw the establishment of Egypt as a powerful centralized state, with the pharaoh at the top of society, controlling all aspects of life in Egypt. The most iconic structures from this period are the Pyramids of Giza, built during the 4th dynasty. The Great Pyramid, constructed for Pharaoh Khufu, also known as Cheops, is the largest and most famous of all the pyramids. Standing at 481 feet tall, it was the tallest man-made structure in the world for over 3,800 years. The pyramid was built with approximately 2.3 million limestone blocks, each weighing several tons. The pyramids were not only tombs for the pharaohs but also served as a means of ensuring the pharaoh's immortality. The construction of these pyramids required highly skilled workers, engineers, and laborers, though the question of whether they were slaves or free workers is still debated. Another monumental structure from this time is the Great Sphinx, a massive limestone statue with the body of a lion and the head of a pharaoh, believed to represent Khafra, a ruler from the 4th dynasty. The Middle Kingdom. A time of stability and expansion after the collapse of the Old Kingdom, Egypt entered a period of political instability known as the First Intermediate Period. However, the Middle Kingdom, 2055 to 1650 BCE, brought a resurgence of stability and prosperity. The pharaohs of the Middle Kingdom worked to consolidate power and expand Egypt's influence. One of the most important rulers of this period was Pharaoh Amenemhat II, who conducted military campaigns to expand Egypt's borders and undertook extensive building projects. The Middle Kingdom is also notable for the flourishing of Egyptian literature, art, and religious thought. The period saw the rise of royal inscriptions, with works like the Story of Sanu, a narrative that offers insights into Egyptian values, politics, and society. The Middle Kingdom also saw Egypt engage in diplomatic relations with neighboring regions. Pharaohs like Senusret III established strong ties with other ancient civilizations, including those in the Near East and Nubia. The New Kingdom. The Age of Empire and Glory. The New Kingdom, 1550 to 1070 BCE, represents the height of Egyptian power. During this period, Egypt expanded its borders to become a major empire, and the pharaohs of the New Kingdom were among the most powerful rulers in the ancient world. One of the most famous pharaohs of this period was Thutmose III, who is often referred to as the Napoleon of Egypt, due to his military conquests. Thutmose III expanded Egypt's borders to their greatest extent, including campaigns in Syria, Palestine, and Nubia. The New Kingdom also saw the rise of the female pharaoh Hatshepsut, one of the few women to ever rule Egypt. Hatshepsut is remembered for her remarkable building projects, including the magnificent mortuary temple at Deir el-Bahari. She was able to maintain Egypt's prosperity during her reign by focusing on trade rather than warfare, bringing wealth to Egypt through commercial expeditions to the land of Punt, which is believed to be located in modern-day Somalia or Ethiopia. One of the most controversial and enigmatic pharaohs of the New Kingdom was Akhenaten, who introduced a radical shift in Egypt's religious practices. Akhenaten abandoned Egypt's traditional polytheistic belief system and promoted the worship of Aten, the sun disk, as the sole god. Perhaps the most famous pharaoh of all was Ramses II, known as Ramses the Great. His reign, which lasted 66 years, is considered one of the most prosperous in Egypt's history. Ramses led several military campaigns, most notably the Battle of Kadesh against the Hittites. Though the battle ended in a stalemate, Ramses famously claimed victory in his inscriptions. Ramses II is also known for his extensive building projects, including the temples at Abu Simbel, which were carved into the mountainside and adorned with colossal statues of the pharaoh. The decline of Egypt, foreign invasions and internal struggles. After the glory of the New Kingdom, Egypt entered a period of decline. The Third Intermediate Period, 1070 to 664 BCE, saw Egypt divided and weakened by internal strife, as well as invasions by foreign powers such as the Libyans and Nubians. During this time, Egypt's political structure became more fragmented, with rival dynasties controlling different regions. In 525 BCE, Egypt fell to the Persian Empire, and later, in the 4th century BCE, it was conquered by Alexander the Great. After Alexander's death, Egypt came under the control of the Ptolemaic dynasty, founded by one of Alexander's generals, Ptolemy I. The Ptolemies, who ruled from 305 BCE to 30 BCE, were Greek in origin and established the city of Alexandria as a major center of learning and culture. The last Ptolemaic ruler, Queen Cleopatra VII, is perhaps the most famous figure from this period. Her relationships with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony are legendary, and she is often remembered for her political acumen and her ability to maintain Egypt's independence in the face of Roman expansion. However, after the defeat of Antony and Cleopatra by the Roman general Octavian, later Emperor Augustus, Egypt became a province of Rome in 30 BCE, marking the end of the Pharaonic era. The mysteries of ancient Egypt. Unsolved enigmas. While Egypt's history is well documented, there are still many mysteries that remain unsolved. The construction of the pyramids, in particular, continues to baffle historians. How were these enormous structures built with the technology available to the ancient Egyptians? Another enduring mystery is the fate of Cleopatra's tomb. Despite extensive archaeological efforts, the location of her final resting place remains unknown. Ancient Egypt was a civilization that left an indelible mark on history. From its iconic pyramids and pharaohs to its contributions in the fields of mathematics, medicine, and architecture, Egypt's legacy continues to influence the modern world. If you enjoyed this exploration of pharaohs, pyramids, and mysteries, be sure to subscribe and click the bell icon to stay updated on our latest videos.